They said the Randolph wedding would be the event of the year. No one expected it to become a nightmare. Annapolis, 1796. The town buzzed with excitement. Candles flickered in the cool winter air. Smoke from chimneys painted the sky gray. The Randolph estate sat atop a hill, a grand house, but grand houses often hide dark secrets. Inside, the halls gleamed with polished wood. Tapestries hung like silent witnesses. Servants moved quickly, whispering among themselves. Something in their eyes betrayed unease. The bride, Eleanor Randolph, was the center of attention. Young, beautiful, and from a powerful family. Her dress shimmered under candlelight. Her smile was perfect, but it did not reach her eyes. There was tension. Her new husband, Thomas, tall and confident, seemed unaware. Or maybe he ignored it. Guests drank wine and laughed. Music played softly. No one noticed the shadows moving in corners. Whispers traveled through the house. Stories of old family curses, strange disappearances, basements that were never entered. Eleanor's mother, pale and frail, watched her daughter closely. Her hands trembled. Her lips pressed into a thin line. She muttered prayers under her breath. Some guests thought it was nervousness. Others felt a cold chill creeping up their spines. Outside, the winter wind howled. It rattled the windows like a warning. Dogs barked. Owls hooted. But inside, the celebration continued. No one dared to question the feeling of dread growing heavier by the minute. Soon, the ceremony would begin. The first vows exchanged, the first steps toward what was supposed to be happiness. But something dark waited below. The Randolph basement had a secret that would turn this wedding into a horror no one could forget. If you want to see what unimaginable horror unfolded in the Randolph estate, make sure to share this story, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for the next chilling final of this tale. No one knew what waited below. Not even Eleanor herself. The wedding feast was in full swing. Laughter echoed through the grand hall. Glasses clinked. Candles flickered. But shadows stretched longer than they should. Eleanor moved gracefully among the guests. Her smile remained, but her eyes darted nervously. Something pulled at her attention. A draft. Cold. Unnatural. It seemed to come from the basement. Thomas noticed her pause. "Are you all right, my love?" he asked. Eleanor nodded quickly. "No, I'm fine," she whispered, but her hands trembled slightly. Servants scurried past with trays of food. One dropped a candle. The flame wavered. A distant thud echoed from below. No one reacted. They thought it was the wind, or a crate falling in storage. Eleanor couldn't shake the feeling. The basement had always been forbidden. Locked doors, heavy iron bolts. Her mother never spoke of it. Her father had died years ago, leaving a house full of secrets. Rumors whispered in town. Guests sometimes mentioned it. The basement was cursed. The unlucky who ventured there never returned. Eleanor tried to laugh it off. She told herself it was nerves. But deep down, she knew something was waiting. Something alive. Something patient. The music played on. Guests clapped. Thomas toasted. Eleanor forced a smile, but the whispers grew louder in her mind. The basement's pull was irresistible. A maid passed her quietly. "Miss Eleanor, the cellar door, it rattles." Eleanor froze. She swallowed hard. "What do you mean?" "Just be careful," the maid muttered, her eyes wide with fear. Then she vanished into the crowd. Eleanor's heart raced. Something was wrong. She could feel it in her bones. If you're ready to uncover the horrifying secret lurking in the Randolph basement, share this video, comment your theories, and subscribe so you don't miss next. Some doors should never be opened. Eleanor was about to learn why. The night wore on. Guests danced, drank, and laughed. But Eleanor couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Her eyes kept drifting to the staircase, the steps that led down into the forbidden basement. A cold draft whispered up from beneath. She shivered. Her dress rustled as if the wind itself was tugging at her. Thomas leaned in, smiling. "You look pale, my dear. Shall we step outside for some fresh air?" Eleanor shook her head. "No, I'll be fine," she said. But inside, fear coiled in her chest. She couldn't explain it. Something was moving below. Slow, patient, waiting. A soft scratching echoed faintly from the floorboards. Eleanor froze. Her breath caught. Guests didn't notice. They were too busy celebrating. She stepped toward the staircase. Her heels clicked against the wood. The scratching stopped. Silence swallowed the hall. The maid who had warned her appeared suddenly. "Miss Eleanor, you shouldn't go down there," she whispered. Eleanor's stomach twisted. "Why? What is it?" The maid's eyes darted nervously. "No one ever comes back," she said. Then she vanished as quietly as she appeared. Eleanor's curiosity battled with fear. Her hand hovered over the banister. Her heart pounded. A single drop of sweat slid down her temple. The basement door at the bottom of the stairs trembled. A low groan escaped it. The iron lock rattled as if something wanted out. Eleanor stepped back. Her mind screamed at her to run. Her feet stayed frozen. The music upstairs seemed distant now. The laughter faded. All that remained was the whispering from below, and a dread that chilled her soul. Do you dare see what's waiting in the Randolph basement? Comment your thoughts, share this story, and subscribe so you don't miss the next terrifying final. Some secrets are buried for a reason. Eleanor was about to uncover one. The music upstairs faded into a distant hum. Guests laughed, oblivious. Eleanor felt her legs moving on their own, toward the basement. The iron door loomed before her, cold, foreboding. She could see faint scratches on its surface, as if something had tried to escape before. Her hand trembled as she reached for the latch. It was heavy, resistant. And then it clicked. A gust of icy air rushed past her. It smelled of earth, rot, and something worse. Her heart pounded. Fear screamed in her ears. She peered inside. Darkness swallowed the staircase. Only a faint light flickered from the far corner. A candle? Or something else? She wanted to turn back. Every instinct shouted, "Run!" But her feet carried her forward. Step by step, she descended. Wood creaked beneath her weight. The shadows seemed to shift. Whispers slithered through the walls. At the bottom, she froze. Chains hung from the ceiling. Dust covered everything. And in the corner, a small carved box. It pulsed with a strange energy. Her name seemed to echo inside her mind. Eleanor! A sudden crash upstairs startled her. Guests screamed. Thomas shouted her name. But Eleanor didn't move. Her eyes were locked on the box. A chill ran down her spine. She knew somehow opening it would change everything. The basement wasn't just a room. It was a trap, waiting for the right moment, waiting for her. Do you think Eleanor should open the box or run for her life? Comment below, share this chilling story, and subscribe to see what happens in next. What Eleanor saw in the basement would haunt her forever. The carved box sat in the corner. Small, ordinary looking, but it radiated something dark, something alive. Eleanor's hands shook. She reached out. Her fingers brushed the wood. A chill shot through her. The lid creaked open. Inside, a bundle of letters, yellowed, brittle, smelling of decay. Her eyes scanned the first one. It was a diary. Her family's diary. The Randolph secrets written in ink and blood. She read aloud, voice trembling. Every bride brought to the estate must be sealed below. Sealed below. Her stomach turned. The basement's walls seemed to close in. Chains rattled. A cold wind circled her. A whisper, almost human. Welcome, Eleanor. Her breath hitched. The box rattled. Something moved in the shadows. Footsteps, slow, heavy, from deeper in the basement. She turned. Nothing. Then a scraping noise. Something dragged across the floor. Her heart raced. Panic clawed at her chest. She wanted to run, but her feet froze. The letters fluttered in her hands. Another note slipped out. Written in red ink. A warning. Once the bride descends, there is no escape. Eleanor's eyes widened. The basement wasn't just forbidden, it was a prison. And tonight, she might become its next victim. Can Eleanor survive the Randolph basement? Comment your theories, share this terrifying story, and subscribe to witness next. The basement had claimed brides before. Tonight, it wanted Eleanor. The air grew colder. Her breath turned to mist. Shadows twisted on the walls like living things. Eleanor tried to move. Her legs felt heavy, as if the basement itself was holding her down. A low growl echoed from the darkness. Chains rattled. The floor beneath her seemed to shift. Her candle flickered. The light revealed nothing. Then a shape. Tall, dark, unmoving. Eleanor froze. Fear paralyzed her. The shape advanced slowly, silent, hungry. She tried to scream. Her voice caught in her throat. No one could hear her. No one would save her. The walls seemed alive. Whispers slithered in her ears. You belong here with us. Her hands shook. She fumbled with the letters, trying to find guidance. Another note fell from the bundle. Once sealed, you will never see the light. A sudden click. The basement door above slammed shut. Darkness swallowed her. Eleanor's heart raced. Every instinct screamed, "Run!" But the chains, the shadows, the whispers held her in place. A draft carried a faint smell. Smoke? Rot? Or something worse? Something waiting, patient, for her to make one wrong move. Her mind screamed for escape. Her body refused to obey. The basement was alive, and it had chosen her. Will Eleanor survive the night, or become another ghost in the Randolph basement? Comment your guesses, share this chilling story, and subscribe for next. Some secrets should never be unearthed. Eleanor was about to see the Randolph family's darkest one. The shadows shifted. Chains rattled. A cold metallic scent filled the air. Eleanor stumbled back, clutching the letters. Her candle flickered violently. From the darkness, a shape emerged. Not quite human, not quite shadow. Eyes glinking. Hungry. The whispers grew louder. Thousands of voices, crying, screaming, warning. Eleanor's hands trembled. Her breath hitched. Her pulse thundered in her ears. Then she saw it. The walls themselves moved. Hollow panels swung open. Inside, skeletons. Bride after bride, sealed in coffins built into the basement walls. Her stomach turned. A cold, piercing scream escaped her throat. Something moved behind her. The shadow approached. Closer. Faster. The letters slipped from her hands. One hit the floor. It read, "Sealed alive. Your fate is ours." Eleanor stumbled backward. The chains wrapped around her ankles like snakes. The shadows pulled at her dress. Panic consumed her. She tried to fight, but the basement, it wanted her still. It had chosen her. She could feel it, dragging her toward the hidden tombs. The whispers became chants, a rhythm, a heartbeat, counting down to her ceiling. Her candle finally went out. Darkness engulfed her. The cold pressed in. She was trapped, and the basement waited, patient, eternal, hungry. Do you think Eleanor will escape the Randolph basement? Comment your theory, share this terrifying story, and subscribe to catch next. The basement wanted her. Eleanor had only one chance to escape or die. Darkness swallowed everything. Cold pressed against her skin. Chains wrapped her ankles tighter, pulling her toward the wall. She screamed. Her voice echoed off the stone, but no one answered. The Randolph estate was silent, except for the whispers. They circled her, thousands of voices, mocking, threatening. Eleanor's mind raced. She remembered the letters, the warnings, the names of brides who never returned. She kicked at the chains. They rattled, but held. The shadows moved faster, closing in. Then she saw a faint glimmer, a crack in the wall, a narrow space barely wide enough for her to slip through. Heart hammering, she pulled herself forward. Pain shot through her arms and legs. Chains dug into her skin. The whispers screamed. The shadows surged. Cold hands seemed to grab her, clawing, dragging her back. With one last desperate effort, she squeezed through the crack. Stone scraped her skin. Her dress tore. She tumbled into a smaller, hidden room, breathing heavily, shivering, alive. For now. The basement was not done. The darkness still pulsed, hungry, waiting. She could feel it through the stone floor. Eleanor knew escape was possible, but only if she acted quickly. One wrong move, and the basement would claim her forever. Will Eleanor find a way out, or will the Randolph basement finally seal her fate? Comment your guesses, share this chilling story, and subscribe to see next. Every step could be her last. Eleanor had to escape, before the basement claimed her forever. The hidden room was small, cold stone walls pressed in from every side. Her hands were raw, her dress torn, her breath ragged. The shadows were patient, waiting, every whisper a promise of doom. Eleanor's eyes scanned the room. A small window near the ceiling, covered in iron bars. Sunlight? Maybe. Freedom? Possibly. She climbed, fingers bleeding from the rough stone. Chains scraped against her ankles, slowing her. The whispers grew louder, mocking, threatening. Suddenly, the floor beneath her shifted. A hollow crack opened. Something alive, something hungry, surged up. She stumbled, heart hammering, desperation fueling her strength. With one final push, she reached the window. Her nails scraped the metal bars. They bent just enough. She squeezed through. Cold wind hit her face. Freedom! She fell into snow. Breathing heavily, shivering, alive. Behind her, the basement groaned. Walls shaking, shadows swirling. It had lost, for now. But the Randolph estate still stood, secrets buried deep, waiting for the next soul to wander too close. Eleanor ran, never looking back, her screams echoing in the night, a warning for anyone who dared approach the basement again. Did Eleanor truly escape the Randolph curse? Comment your thoughts. Share this chilling story and subscribe for the shocking conclusion in next. She escaped, but the darkness never let her go. Eleanor burst from the hidden basement crack into the cold night air. Snow blanketed the ground. Her dress was shredded, her hands bleeding from clawing at the stone. Her lungs burned, her heart pounded like a war drum. She ran blindly through the dark streets of Annapolis. Branches scraped her face, icicles pierced her arms. Every step felt like a race against death itself. Behind her, the Randolph estate loomed, silent, menacing. Its shadows seemed to twist toward her, reaching. The basement still waited, hungry, patient, eternal. Eleanor collapsed near the town square, her eyes wide, her teeth chattering, breath leaving her in ragged gasps. Townfolk gathered, drawn by the sounds of a terrified woman screaming into the night. She's alive," someone whispered. But Eleanor could barely speak. Her lips quivered. All of them," she gasped. "The basement, it—" But she could say no more. Her story tumbled in fragments, incoherent, terrifying. They didn't understand. And even if they did, would they believe her? The Randolph estate remained, the grand house on the hill, untouched by fire or time. The guests, the servants, the neighbors, they all whispered about what had happened. Some said Eleanor had gone mad. Some said she had escaped the grasp of something ancient and evil. Inside the basement, shadows still shifted. Walls groaned. Chains rattled. The coffins of brides past trembled ever so slightly. It had lost Eleanor, but only temporarily. It waited for the next soul to wander too close. Eleanor never returned to that house. She left Annapolis entirely, vanishing into obscurity. Her nights were plagued by whispers, chains dragging, faint, blood-curdling screams echoing from stone walls she would never see again. Even in the safety of a distant town, she could hear the basement calling. Legends spread. Some said she had burned the letters, destroying proof of the Randolph horrors. Others claimed she kept them hidden, tormented by the knowledge of the basement's appetite. Still, everyone knew the story. The bride sealed alive, the shadows that swallowed the innocent, the dark, patient evil that lurked beneath the estate. Years passed. The Randolph estate decayed, yet it never fell completely. Visitors, curious and foolish, claimed to hear whispers in the night. Some saw shadows move behind boarded windows, and those brave, or stupid enough, to peer at the cellar door swore it rattled, as if something wanted out. Eleanor lived the rest of her life in quiet terror. She never married. She never trusted a house again. Every creaking floorboard, every shadow in a room reminded her of the basement and what had almost claimed her. The Randolph basement had taken many before her, and though Eleanor escaped, the legend remained. A warning, a nightmare trapped in stone and shadows. Every whispered retelling carried the echo of chains, the stench of decay, and the screams of brides who never saw the light. Even today, those who pass the old estate at night speak in hushed tones. Do not go near the Randolph house, or the basement might want you too. The house stands, silent, menacing. The shadows wait. The basement waits. And somewhere deep in the cold stone, the whispers never stop. If this story chilled you to the bone, comment your thoughts. Share this terrifying tale with friends and subscribe to uncover more true historical horrors that history tried to hide.